I was never anyone special, just another forgettable name, another unremarkable face among millions. My life followed a quiet rhythm, filled with just enough work to get by and a modest apartment where I could retreat from the world. It wasn't exciting, but it felt safe. And most of all, it was mine. Then the pain started. It began as a vague stiffness in my fingers, the kind that follows a poor night's sleep. But it didn't go away. I woke up one morning to find my wrists bent backward in unnatural angles, my hands trembling as if someone else had twisted them while I slept. The veins beneath my skin swelled in strange spirals, crawling like vines beneath the surface. My skin began to peel, not from dryness, but from something deeper, as though something inside me wanted to shed the shell it no longer recognized. I went from one clinic to another, clinging to the fragile hope that someone, anyone, might recognize what was happening to me. The doctors ran every test they could think of, but all I ever got in return were puzzled looks and gentle shakes of the head. And while everything remained uncertain, the pain inside me only grew worse, turning sharper, deeper, as if it were slowly eating away at my very bones from the inside out. Then I was referred to Dr. Louis, a renowned geneticist known for tackling rare and difficult conditions. The institute where he worked felt different, silent, sterile, and watchful. When we met, he didn't look confused or concerned. He looked intrigued.
Your case is unique,
he said after examining my scans.
I believe your body isn't failing. It's adapting. With a full genetic workup, I may be able to stabilize the changes.
His confidence made me feel for the first time that maybe there was hope. So I said yes. Every time my condition worsened, I returned. My joints stiffened, my skin cracked open, and sometimes I bled without any visible wound. Louis was always ready, always calm, sometimes even eager. He asked to monitor me overnight, citing unusual biological responses and a need for close observation. One night, as I waited in the hallway, I saw a man escorted into a restricted zone marked Sperm Donation Facility. He was entirely covered, hood pulled low, and though he only glanced at me for a second, something about him disturbed me in a way I couldn't explain, like he wasn't truly there. Soon the symptoms escalated. My sight blurred. My ears rang. I couldn't sit for long without sharp pain in my back. I touched my spine one morning and felt ridges rising beneath the skin, new bones reshaping me. When I told Louis, he responded not with concern but with quiet excitement.
You're progressing faster than I anticipated,
he said, almost in awe. I wanted to walk away, but fear held me in place. I was no longer sure what would happen if I left, whether my body would survive it, or whether I would become something even worse, alone. Then, one night, I woke to agony. I stumbled to the bathroom, pulled off my shirt, and saw my back split open. The skin had torn along my spine, not from trauma, but from pressure within. Something had pushed out, forcing its way through. I ran to the institute in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat and blood. Louis was waiting for me, as if he had known I would come.
It's time,
he said quietly, and led me into a part of the building I had never seen. Down a hallway, into a sealed room lined with glass tanks, tissue samples, embryonic models, and documents marked by strange codes. I realized in that moment that this wasn't a clinic, it was a lab. I turned to leave, panic rising, but he was already behind me with a syringe. I felt the needle sink into my neck, and moments later my limbs gave out. He secured me to the chair, whispering that it was just to prevent convulsions. Then he told me the truth.
You were part of something greater, a vision for the future of our species, an experimental bloodline created through selective sperm enhancement to forge the next stage of human evolution. You were never meant to survive. Your embryo was marked for disposal, but a clerical slip placed it into the hands of an infertile couple, and they raised you, never knowing what you truly were.
I stared at him, frozen, each word cutting deeper than the last.
I knew the moment I saw your data. That's why I stepped in. I was guiding you toward what you were always meant to become. Without my intervention, your body would have collapsed under the weight of its own potential. But now you're becoming something extraordinary, and for that, you owe me everything.
Then the transformation began. My muscles clenched, spasmed and tore themselves apart, only to rebuild in strange, knotted shapes. Bones cracked and twisted, reshaping themselves without mercy. My spine broke through my skin, forming a jagged ridge that curved like armor. My screams blurred with the sound of my body unraveling. And then, from just beneath my collarbone, something began to rise. It wasn't just bone, it was flesh. A second face, half-formed, emerging from within me. Mouth clenched, teeth grinding, jaw twitching. It had no eyes, but it moved, alive and aware. Louis stumbled back.
No, this isn't the final design. This wasn't what I planned.
But I no longer heard him. Something inside me had broken loose, not just in body, but in mind. The pain, the betrayal, the realization that I had never truly been human, all flooded through me, drowning whatever pieces of reason remained. I moved before I even knew I had. My body, mutated, monstrous, lunged toward him. I saw the terror in his eyes just before I reached him, but by then, it no longer mattered. He created me. Now he would pay for what I had become. As for me, the ordinary life I had once known had been completely destroyed. I no longer knew what I had become. And if there were such a thing as another life after this, I wondered whether we ever got to choose the reason we were born.